So I will ask you quickly, how would you describe the following in these terms? Nationalist, urban Naxal, or liberal? Those who worship the cow.
Wonderful people.
No, I'm asking these three particular distinctions. How would you describe them?
I mean, somebody worshipping is very liberal. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
How can that be a nationalist and liberal? They are liberal people.
Those who eat
But
beef.
let me tell you, people who worship cow, if you genuinely meet them, not through media, they are very liberal people. You can go to their house, you can belong to any religion, you know, and they will welcome you. They are very wonderful people.
Those who eat beef, Rakesh?
I think in this country where millions of people worship cow, and when worship animal, this means you are protecting, not only worshiping, you are protecting animal rights. That is the highest level of liberalism. And those who are eating beef, they are the highest level of intolerance.
So they are intolerant and anti-national.
Look, intolerance is not anti-national.
Oh.
I'm coming, you asked one question about the secularism. Very frankly and forthrightly, I have my considered opinion that secularism in India is a Hindu way of life. You destroy the Hindu way of life, there would not be secularism. Howsoever you write in the constitution, not 1 and 10 times, India was secular before the constitution. India was secular before the Britishers came. India was secular before the Mughals came. So Indian secularism is inherent in Indian tradition. Secularism means worshipping diversities, internalizing diversities. The Western concept of secularism is tolerance. It is not our merely tolerance. We go beyond tolerance. So in the Constituent Assembly debate, when Tajamul Hussain says, he was a Muslim League president from Bihar, he was a member of the Constituent Assembly, majority and minority are the British creation. Britishers have gone, throw this term from your dictionary. But unfortunately, Marxist and Congress made the minority majority the first term of the dictionary. That is the unfortunate part of this country. India will be secular as long as Hindus are in majority and Hindu way of life is prevalent in this country.
As long as you don't marry Muslims. As long as you don't marry Muslims.
No,
but if I say...
There must be Indianization of Islam and Christianity. Without Indianization, in original form, Islam and Christianity cannot serve the purpose of secularism in this country.
And now, if I oppose to what Rakesh ji says, then I'm anti-Indian, I'm anti-nationalist, I am absolutely intolerant. So I'm ready to accept that.
Because?
Because whatever they say, I do not agree to what they say.
You eat beef?
I don't eat beef because I have never acquired a taste for that. But I'm a pakka non-vegetarian eater. If that makes me anti-national, then fine, I am anti-national. Me being born into a Muslim family, married to a proper Hindu, if that makes me anti-national, then fine, I'm an anti-national. If I do not agree to what both my other respected panelists have to say, if that makes me intolerant and urban Naxalite, then perfectly fine. I am happy with that.
If you don't worship the cow?
If I don't worship the cow, then I think I should be thrown out of this country and sent back to Pakistan. Because that is how people have been telling me.
Khushbu,
Too many things
have been telling
Khushbu,
me.
Yes, people have been telling me, and people have been telling Rakesh ji,
I'm asking you.
Now
know,
it's becoming like a TV debate. We have to
just interacting. Nobody called. I consider Khushbu a perfect example of secularism, and she herself is self-assigning.
Because she's married a Hindu, na?
No,
Sorry to be so blatant.
then mean my husband is not secular.
Yes, exactly.
No.
You're right.
No, the kind of narratives you are initiating, it is dangerous. It is not merely joke.
That's the narrative you have been telling. That's the exact problem is.
Perfect.
Rakesh ji, let me tell you, I am born as Nakhat Khan. and my name remains Nakhat Khan till date. I am proud to be born into a Muslim family which has a Khan to it. And if you want me to add on to Shah Rukh Khan's dialogue, I am a Khan, but I'm not a terrorist. I agree to that. I am married to a proper God-fearing Hindu man, and I have not changed my religion. But it was your party, your people, your followers who very distinctively said that they discovered overnight that I am trying to hide behind a name as Khushbu Sundar because I want to hide my identity of being born as a Muslim, and your party, the RSS ideologies connected party, tells me that I am a Pakistani ISIS or a spy and I should be thrown out of the country.
One very,
Let
very
me finish,
interesting.
please. Vivek, let me finish. Now when you say, har kankar mein Bhagwan hai, Kankar mein Bhagwan hai. Every stone you look at it, it's the way you look at it. You say that every stone you see God. Perfectly fine. But God does not mean that it's only Hindu God. That stone you take it and throw it at other religious people and say that the minute they say, Ya Allah, you say, don't say Ya Allah, say Jai Shri Ram, say Hey Bhagwan. You throw the same stone at the others. And why does that happen in this country since the last 5 years? I did not interfere when you both were speaking. I would really appreciate if you can give me some time. I would really appreciate if you could give me my time, Vivek.
Sorry.
Yeah? Now, when you talk about dynasty, let me tell you, you're talking about history. Let me tell you, 134 years of Congress, 60 presidents in the Congress party in 134 years, out of which there have been 4 people of the Nehru family who have been the presidents. It's an internal issue. It does not have anything to do with the country or the country's development. Who we choose as a president, who we choose as a general secretary, who we choose as a secretary is an internal issue. Why does it trouble the BJP or the RSS? When you say, you talk about history and you say, no, not one person, there should not be a hero worship. We say we hero worship Mahatma. You garland Mahatma Gandhi in the morning and a prime minister goes back in the evening and he garlands Veer Savarkar as well as Nathuram Godse and say they are Mahatmas. Please tell us the history. Who is Mahatma? The man who gave up everything for this country, fought for this country, got us freedom. He is Mahatma, or the man who shot Mahatma Gandhi and before dying he said, Hey Ram. And if that man is a Mahatma, you have a confusion. You need to clear that. Who we choose? Sonia Gandhi was not chosen. Sonia Gandhi was given a position because people decided, the internal policy of the Congress party decided that Sonia Gandhi should take over as the president of the country, president of the Congress party. It does not have anything to do with the people of this country because the government was ruled by UPA, where you had Manmohan Singh, one of the most renowned economists to rule the country. We as a government, you're talking about history. Let me take you back to 1980s when Mr. Vajpayee was ruling the country. Mr. Vajpayee, you are defaming your own Atal Bihari Vajpayee, sir, when you say there's no development. The same Atal Bihari Vajpayee in parliament said, if I'm going to say that in the last 50 years, there's no development done in this country by the former government, then I will be failing as a statesman, as a prime minister of this country, and I'll be shaming my country because I have seen the development in the last 50 years. This debate is not about BJP, RSS versus Congress. This is about India. This is about secularism. This is about why are we labeling people which we do not, we find that they are not in the same wavelength as us. Dissent is the bottom line of democracy. We say there has to be an opposition because if you do not have an opposition, you will never be able to run this country or any governing body for that matter. There is a saying in English which says, absolute power corrupts you absolutely. And this, as an Indian, not as a Congress spokesperson.
Let me answer.
As an Indian, I say,
long lecture.
Absolute power corrupts you absolutely.
Kaveree,
and this is what I have been seeing in the last 5 years. And when I say 5 years, I joined Congress only 4 years back. So don't say that because I'm a Congress spokesperson, I'm talking about this. Secondly, let me finish.
This is election season.
Let her finish. No, we're not an unknown.
When you talk about hero worshipping, our heroes are the people we have been taught in school. Our heroes are the people our ancestors, our elders at home have told us these are the heroes of our country. These are the people who have given up their lives. They have given up everything they had for the freedom of this country so that we today can sit and enjoy the freedom. We are not slaves to anyone. We have the democracy, we have the secularism, we have the socialism, whether you want to believe it or not. I say give an opportunity to every individual in this country to decide whether he or she wants to be labeled as anti-national, anti-socialist, dissent, or whatever, secular, not secular, or whatever you want to name them. There are too many things coming out of the dictionary and naming them, or like your book or some, Vivek says, urban Naxalites.
No.
Perfectly fine. Do not strangulate them and say that you do not have the right to speak, because the minute we speak, we stand up and speak for our rights, that all these labeling starts. We have lost that tolerance in this country in the last 5 years. This is my personal observation. Definitely people will have difference of opinion, and I really appreciate the difference of opinion, because when you talk about hero worshipping, it's how you build yourself, not by spending 4,600 crores to build an image in the 5 years.
I think
Rakesh ji, now it's up to you. As a member of the BJP, you have to react.
You know, day before yesterday, Rahul Gandhi called Narendra Modi Desdrohi. How much freedom much more freedom you want?
But
Calling the Prime Minister as a
don't want to
Desdrohi.
put him in prison
And
for that.
morning to evening, at least there are 5 dozen news channels in this country. And every channel has 4 to 5 debates. In every debate, left, right, center comes. And the kind of words used for RSS, BJP, Hindutva, Narendra Modi is uncalled for. You abuse Narendra Modi, you abuse Hindutva, you criticize everything, and still you say there is no freedom of expression. Then what kind of freedom of expression you want?
We've been saying. The
No,
lynching that has been happening,
the
minute an 8-year-old kid is raped, it is always about communal, whether the girl was a Hindu or a Muslim.
Khushbu,
A girl was raped and you still talk about whether it was Hindu or Muslim.
The best thing for them is to create a...
Deshdrohi in English is anti-national.
Nobody, Nagpur has not called anybody Deshdrohi. I call 133 crore people. Each and every individual of this country is patriot. More than me, he's a patriot. Whether he's a Muslim, Christian, Sikh, or any community, that hardly matters. Your parameter of nationalism, I'm giving 3 things. If I worship cow, then I'm a communal. If I celebrate my legacy of India, then I am a communal. If I am for the Ram Janmabhoomi, construction of Ram temple at Ayodhya, this is the finest moment of that will be the finest moment of the country when Ram temple would be constructed in Ayodhya, then you will call me a fascist and a communal. Because if some people say there should be a hospital in Ayodhya, I said yes. In Makkah and by Vatican there should be hospital, then I will create hospital in Ayodhya also. So don't have 2 parameters. Don't say that there is intolerance in this country. There is a highest level of tolerance in this country, whether it's a Congress, BJP, as far as dynasty is concerned. You don't count 4 people, count the years they ruled the Congress. If that dynasty has only 4 people, how can they bring the 5 people?
Rakesh, you have a problem with Congress when ruling the country, or Congress as a party itself? Because there are 2 different things.
Congress
party. Confused.
Yes, Congress party.
So you have an obsession with the Nehru family.
You know, I'm just.
Vivek has been very quiet. I'm very worried about you.
I am just giving one example.
Vivek,
I'm giving.
Taking the bait. Come on.
I'm giving just one example. You know.
I'll let them speak.
No. You have to talk.
That is a very
I'm not intolerant.
that is a very empirical fact, and that's I mentioned that. I'm just again reminding you. In 1950, there was an election in the Congress. First time election took place after the independence. Purushottam Das Tandon and J.B. Kriplani were 2 candidates. J.B. Kriplani were defeated and Purushottam Das Tandon became the Congress president. And Jawaharlal Nehru forced Purushottam Das Tandon to resign as the Congress president. He threatened that if he would not resign, he would resign from the prime ministership. So this kind of democracy, if you welcome, that democracy is unacceptable.
No, he was anti-national, he was not liberal, he was intolerant, he was everything. And when this happened, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru threatened the then chosen, elected president of the Congress, I'm very sure Rakesh Sinha ji was part of that closed doors meeting because he remembers everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vivek.
First of all, I just want to tell that Khushbu ji is factually wrong. She said 135 years of this, 34 years of this Congress. You must know this is the biggest scam played on Indian youth, the younger generation. This Congress is not that Congress. This Congress is not the original Congress. When Kamraj, all of you know about Kamraj? He was from Tamil Nadu. When Kamraj, the kingmaker, made Indira Gandhi the prime minister, she backstabbed him and threw him like in the dustbin. That is the time Congress got split. The original Congress was led by all these Morarji Desais and Sanjeeva Reddys and all that. Prabhuji is here. If I'm wrong, correct me. The new Congress was called Congress I. Even their election symbol changed, if you do not know. So this Congress is not that Congress. This Congress is Indira Gandhi's Congress. This is Indira Gandhi Congress Private Limited. And which is why you will find only Congress one. Second thing she talked about, that in last 5 years, people are not allowed to speak up. I agree. A lot of people are not allowed to speak up. I am one of them.
My
In
God.
2016.
If you speak anymore,
In
Vivek,
2000,
there'll be a riot.
No, I'm talking only facts. In 2016, when Mr. Narendra Modi was the Prime Minister, I was stopped in JNU to exhibit my film. My shoulder was broken in Jadavpur University in 2016 because those leftists and NSUI people, just 1 month ago in Ahmedabad, NSUI, which is the Youth Congress, National Students Union of India, Congress, they assaulted my car with rods and hockeys and they broke all the glass panes and everything. Yes, I am not allowed to speak up, but have you heard of Majroo Sultanpuri?
Of course.
In a scale of greatness in 1 to 10, where will you put him up?
Very great.
Do you think he was a liberal guy or not?
Yeah.
He went to jail. Do you know? In 1950s, he went to jail. Why? Who put him in the jail? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Why? Because I'll read out just 4 lines to you. By any standard, if you tell me those lines, he wrote, मन में जहर डॉलर के बसा के फिरती है भारत की अहिंसा, खादी के केंचुल को पहनकर ये केंचुल लहराने ना पाए, अमन का झंडा इस धरती पर किसने कहा लहराने ना पाए, ये भी कोई हिटलर का है चेला, ये भी मतलब जवाहरलाल नेहरू, ये भी कोई हिटलर का है चेला, मार लो साथ जाने ना पाए, कॉमनवेल्थ का गुलाम है नेहरू, मार ले साथी जाने ना पाए. And for these lines, which means in 1950s, Nehru was working as somebody else's agent and not as a nationalist, as an Indian. And I've just finished a film called The Tashkent Files. This film is based on Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri's mysterious death in Tashkent. And for 4 years we are researching. Just 2 facts I'll tell you about intolerance. Number 1, when Shastri ji died, in his samadhi, which is called Vijay Ghat, his wife wanted, and all the Congress people wanted to write Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Srimati Indira Gandhi refused it. She said, you can't write that. Lalita Shastri, Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri's wife, she sat on a dharna at Vijay Ghat for almost 4 days, and when all the public support started building up in favor of Lalita ji, that's when Indira Gandhi succumbed. When Nehru ji died, Teen Murti was a prime minister's house. Lal Bahadur Shastri was not given. Indira Gandhi, it's a documented thing which my film will show now. She said, this man, look at him, he does not deserve to live where Nehru ji lived. And it became a Nehru memorial. This is the kind of intolerance this government has done. Like I told you, every socialist leader was inside the jail. Every socialist thinker was in the jail. And that's when socialist word was added. If you take the list of all the people who were banned, all the films which were banned, all the songs which were banned, do you know Kishore Kumar was banned? Yeah. The greatest singer we had. Who started this culture? Today it is impossible for somebody who is a Modi supporter to go in JNU, Jadavpur University, Hyderabad Central University. When Modi is ruling at that time, you cannot. Do you know something? The major channel called me and he said, we will never ever call you in our channel in debates because you are supporting Modi. Do you know that nobody, the distributors backed out when I made Buddhayana traffic jam? Today I'm making Tashkent files. I'm going to talk about it in the next 15 or 20 days when the film goes on release. One of the biggest distributors backed out because they support Congress. Then I told him, you'll be surprised, Kaveree ji. I told him, do you even realize Lal Bahadur Shastri was a Congress Prime Minister? He thought he was a Sanghi. This is the kind of narrative these people have created. Anybody who comes from the ground, anybody who's a middle class believer, a middle class small town boy or girl or a man or a woman in this, like the old lady who's sitting here with this tilak on her forehead, they will say she is a regressive Sanghi. Today the biggest tragedy is the minute you say Bharat, they say you are Sanghi. The minute you talk in the interest of India, they say you are a Sanghi. The minute you say India is a great country, in speeches everywhere I say, India is one of the greatest. More I travel in the world, I think India, there is no other civilization like Bharat. And that is the reason when all the civilizations died, all major civilizations died, we are surviving. The story of India is like a Bollywood hero. You know, you can attack us as much, we will survive. We will have survived everything. We will survive Congress also.
So the story of India is like the story of the three Khans.
Exactly.
The story of the three Khans.
Kaveree, this is what I have been trying to say.
I have no problem with Khans.
India is not about Congress or BJP. India is not about Hindu or Muslim. India is not about secular or non-secular. India is not about anything that you want to label them as. India is about India. India is about oneness. India is about diversity. And that is what we need to respect, and that is what we need to control. We'll have this argument will go on. You give me examples of Congress, I can give you 1,000 examples of what has happened then. But this argument is going to continue because this is a very healthy proposition what we have put forward, Vivek ji, that you have your ideas, I have my ideas, Rakesh ji has his own ideas, people in this auditorium, in this room, they have their own ideas. Yet we are here sitting together, listening to each other, applauding each other. Yes, we'll have difference of opinion. We will not like what few words what we speak. Yet we tolerate each other, and this tolerance has to go out on the street without taking any communal tag with us. And that is India is about. Which unfortunately today, everything, when I was talking to Rakesh ji, I said, even when an 8-year-old kid is brutally raped and murdered, we talk about whether it was a Hindu child or a Muslim child. And this is what I do not want my India to be. This is what I do not want my country to be named as. My country, not today. My country is my country, which has been right at the top for all the good reasons. Whether we are Hindus, we are Muslims, we belong to any community, any religion, whether we are RSS or BJP or Congress or any other parties, whether we are secular or not, whether we are anti-nationals or we are liberals, whether we are right-wing or leftist, whether we do not agree with each other, what we need to take it with pride on the sleeves is I am an Indian, and that is the only pride which is going to take us forward, and that is my thinking. And if this thinking is going to give me different labels by my opposition party, then thank you. I would love to take those labels also, wear those badges with pride and walk on the street. Yes, I'm an anti-national. Yes, I'm a leftist. Yes, I'm intolerant. And you name it, I am. But nobody can change, as I am an Indian and I take my patriotism very seriously. And that is what people ask me, what's your religion? I say, being an Indian. What's your community? It's my humanity. If somebody comes home and asks my kids, which religion do you follow? And they will be like, I'm an Indian. What religion are you talking about? And I think this is one thing we need to take it forward for this country, for the next generation. Because this argument is not going to end with any three of us here. This argument is going to continue with our kids when they grow up. But let's all hope that we build a very, very healthy environment for them, so that this kind of, when we talk about building a country without an opposition is not something we needed. We need to come together. We need to have an opposition. We need to have people talking against us only then we will be able to understand the reason for opposition is not only to pinpoint where you are going wrong, but also to remind you that you have to do your job right.
Khushbu ji, in good
yeah.
humor, let me ask you, in good humor,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been, you said about kids growing up. I just want to ask you something. Tell me honestly, is the kid of Congress ever going to grow up?
Kid, if my kids are growing up, she's going to vote for the first time
No, the
this
kid of
year.
Congress, the great
No,
kid of Congress.
that's what I'm saying. I'm tolerant, so I'm not going to respond to that. I'm tolerant. People are looking at him in a different way. So, the kid of Congress you talk about, I think that innocence, if that's the kid you're talking about, then I think yes, because we definitely don't need someone who is absolutely saying that it has to be one-man army with a complete dictatorship.
No, it's a two-man
So,
army.
a two-man...
And one woman now, Priyanka ji is also there.
No,
so.
but the BJP
So you have
has
a
two
problem
men.
with who? Priyanka ji or Rahul ji?
That Congress has to decide. They are so
No, you
confused
have a
right
problem.
now.
We have not been talking
They are
about
so
it.
confused.
We are not talking about it. It's the BJP who's completely
Rakesh,
stirred and ruffled and shaken up with
Rakesh, here
Priyanka's
you
entry.
have a one-man, one-woman army. There you have a two-man army, Mr. Shah and Mr. Modi. So who's going to end up winning in 2019 and what will the narrative be then?
Nitin Gadkari.
2019's narrative, before coming to that, Khushbu has said at least 10 times he is an Indian. I think nobody should claim that everybody is Indian. We don't need to say again and again, you are Indian. So you said your
You need to
guilt
be
conscience.
reminded. You need to be reminded, especially
No, you
people
said-
from my community, or many of them who probably do not agree to your views, Rakesh ji.
Just 30
We
seconds.
are anti-national. That's the first
No.
label, now. So we have to keep reminding you that we are also Indians.
Have you heard any time RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat ji or Narendra Modi ji calling anybody as Desdrohi? Have you read any place? Have you heard
Rakesh ji,
any?
Rakesh
But
ji, can I-
Rahul Gandhi is calling Narendra Modi Desdrohi for
Can
the
I-
first
can I
time.
come in?
For the first time in the history of parliamentary democracy of the world. A leader of opposition is calling his prime minister as Desdrohi. This is highly condemnable.
can I
This is
come in?
highly unacceptable, and I think the 2019 narrative would be based on prosperous India, effective prime minister, democracy and transparency, not dynasty. The entire battle between the democracy and dynasty, all the dynastic parties
But
are
that
in
was the
Mahagathbandhan.
2014 narrative. No?
Yeah.
That
No,
was
they
the
have-
2014
No,
Because
narrative.
as
nothing
long
new to
as
say.
democracy, as long as the substantive democracy is achieved, and we said dynasty from our Indian politics, you used to go to RJD, it is a dynasty. You go to Samajwadi Party, it is a dynasty. You go to Congress Party, it is a dynasty. So it is a conglomeration of the dynasty, people who belong to dynasties. So this is dynasties versus democracies. Not democracy, democracies. There are people who believe in democracy. The last one word. Your last part of discourse narrative was very good, acceptable. That this country has feature of diversities. And these diversities, I'm giving example, all the 72 sects of Islam exist in India. All the sects of Christianity, it is the only India where all 72 sects of Islam, all sects of Christianity exist in India. This is the beauty of the country. And what is the region of the beauty of the country? You have to trace the region. That region is a Hindu way of life. That's not the theocratic. That is our traditional, civilizational, cultural way of life. You accept, then democracy and secularism will stay, or we will become Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Saudi Arabia. We have to safeguard our country from becoming Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia.
Or an
That's a
urban
Buddhism.
Naxal. Vivek, you want to quickly
Okay,
come
this
in?
anti-national thing, let me tell you one
Yeah.
thing. Don't go by, see, life is much more beautiful than TV debates. In real life,
Although
I
you
don't...
participate in them a lot.
Yeah, I
both
used
of
to,
you.
not anymore.
All three of you.
Yeah, not anymore. But I think I travel 25 days in a month in every nook and corner of the country. I have till date not met anybody who has been stopped from eating anything he wants to eat. I have not met anybody who has been stopped from wearing and saying and believing in anything he wants. And most of the places I go, some people are abusing Gandhi family, some people are abusing Modi, some people are abusing Hinduism, some people are abusing Muslims. You know, nobody has stopped anybody from that. I think where this anti-national word actually came, it came in fact before 2014. What happened when certain leaders of the country and a lot of intellectuals of the country, intelligentsia, filmmakers, the so-called liberal lobby, when they were found aligning and supporting stone pelters, when they were found aligning with jihadis, when the students came out and they started sloganeering that Afzal Guru, in praise of Afzal Guru, was a terrorist, that is when a lot of people who were not in politics started questioning why are they doing it. And that's how the anti-national narrative started. And then their political parties, then they started appropriating it. It was bad luck that Congress couldn't appropriate it because their leader was found supporting stone pelters and Afzal Guru supporters and all those kind of people. So Rahul Gandhi was always the first person, and that's why he had to go for course correction. And he was always anti-Hindu. When he came, he thought, that's why he had to, in Madhya Pradesh election, you saw, he was wearing Janeu, calling himself Shiv Bhakt and all those kind of things. The problem is that you stop television for a few days, stop watching news channels for a few days, you will find in this world, Gar firdaus zami asto, to ami asto, agar is dunya mein koi jannat hai, if there is any place which is as beautiful, as wonderful, this is India. Because Indian diversity is the real diversity. In America, you have Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, Indians, all kinds of people, but they live in their own ghettos, nobody talks to anybody. In India, there is not even one single day when you do not have to interact, work, communicate with people of different faith, religion, upper class, middle class, all kinds of people. The real diversity, if you want to see, it's India. And today, we are going to, and we are already one of the strongest nations in the world, and soon we are going to be the world leaders. I have no two doubts in my mind.
As long as who is in power? As long as
whoever is in power. See, this country has grown in spite of governments. And talking about government all the times about party is also a very bad thing. This is injustice to the people of this country, that all the times we are talking, they are not responsible for our growth. Because we are good people, India is growing. India is not growing. Politics is one side. See, it's a necessity of life like religion. You can't live without religion, you can't live without politics.
And there's more politics in the film industry than there is in politics.
Film industry. See, if you really want to see politics, come to film industry. That's the right place to be in.
Yes. I think there's a lot of demand for questions, so I have to open it to the audience. Please identify yourself and keep your questions short. No comments, please. Only questions. That gentleman in the blue t-shirt who's got his hand up. I'll come to you. That's all right. No need to get agitated. Yes, fine. We have enough agitated people on the stage.
Hello, good morning. My name is Siddharth. Past 70 years, we learned about Akbar, Babur. But now in 5 years, we know about Hindus, who is the freedom fighters of India. And BJP has given respect to Congress persons also, like Panavda, Netaji. And why Congress they have given respect to their people? Thank you.
I think your question was, why did the Congress not recognize people from outside the family? Is that it? Yeah. Anyway, is there another? Yes, this gentleman. Yeah. Maybe we'll take a couple of more questions and then, yeah, this gentleman. Please go ahead.
I want to ask Mrs. Khushbu Sundar, what's wrong in celebrating or worshipping Veer Savarkar? Do you know anything about Veer Savarkar?
Exactly. There's nothing wrong in celebrating Veer Savarkar. I said at the onset of this session.
No.
Can I finish?
No, you cannot.
You raised a question.
No, you just saying morning he does it, evening he does it, as if they are antithetical. They are not antithetical.
And that's what exactly I said. When you raise a question, you should give an opportunity to answer.
So we'd like you to calm down.
If that is not an answer, if that is not a question, then you do not ask a question. There's nothing wrong in celebrating Veer Savarkar. I think what is important is you raising a question, me answering it. This is what is the difference. You cannot come with your mindset that this is how it has to be. I say, I celebrate Mahatma, you celebrate Veer Savarkar, perfectly fine. Don't contradict the both. You say you celebrate Mahatma and you say that Mahatma Gandhi was a Chatur Baniya, yet you will go and celebrate Veer Savarkar. My objection is to that. My objection is when you talk about religion, when you talk about this country, yet you say one religion, one country. That is where my objection comes from.
No.
Khushbu, I'm sorry, because
just
next speaker has arrived.
The gentleman has raised a very pertinent question. It is not that you are tolerating the celebrating Savarkar. What's wrong with Savarkar was the greatest patriot in this country.
Nothing wrong
and
with it.
your party is denouncing Savarkar ji.
We are not
that
denouncing
you are doing some mercy for Savarkar.
Because he apologized.
We are not
And that's why he
denouncing
got out of
Savarkar.
jail.
We know the history. We know the history. It's
Do
not
you
that
consider
we are-
Savarkar ji was a great patriot?
Okay,
See, he
we will
was a
settle-
person who
we
was
will settle
there,
this
but then we
debate,
also
yes.
have a history
One
where it
last
says that he
question
went
to this
and begged for
gentleman.
mercy.
Please ask your question.
So my question is to Khushbu ji. So madam, you had brought
Why
up
are all the
about
questions to Khushbu?
yeah.
Okay.
So she had brought up about the Asifa incident, which is really sad. But then there are incidents happening in Tamil Nadu itself, like Ramalingam. He was killed because he was trying to stop conversions, Muslim conversions. People were forced to convert into Muslims, and he tried stopping that, and he was killed. But then Congress party never spoke about that. May I know what's the stand of Congress on that?
Absolutely, we have in anything which is political. I'm saying not everything can be made into political.
No,
what has happened to
Asif
Ramalingam?
was the incident.
What has happened in
Sir, if you've asked a question, give her an opportunity to explain,
Let-
please. Thank you very
what
much.
has happened to Ramalingam? We have come forward and we have raised questions. It's not that we have not raised questions. If
Yes, you haven't.
No, we have. If I haven't,
you
then
let
I'm
her
sorry.
answer?
But then we have our party members who have our TNCC president was the first
He is
person to
asking,
come out.
are you condemning conversion? Are you going to condemn conversion and the people of
Rakesh ji,
this
we are
who
not
stopping
going to
conversion?
debate that whether I'm condemning conversions or not, because it's going to lead to something
that
else.
girl there who's raising her arm.
Our last
and
question for
Let
this
the, let
session.
the lady ask.
Someone-
Let the girl ask.
Yeah,
Please,
last
can
question for this
someone
session,
ask-
please.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, let.
And the rest of you, please don't
That's
get
the last
agitated. Please
question.
sit
Then
down.
all questions offline, okay? Quickly. Yes.
Greetings to you all. First of all, more power to Khushbu ma'am. But my question is to Mr. Vivek Agnihotri. Don't you think there's a clear difference between nationalism and patriotism? I asked this to you, sir, because you said Bhagat Singh was a nationalist, but wouldn't you call him someone who was patriotic to his country?
Of course he was. What's the question? There's no doubt about it.
What's the difference between nationalism and patriotism, sir?
For me, it's the same thing. There is no difference between it. Nationalism is a more political thing. Patriotism is something. Everybody who's in this country is patriotic. And anybody who's working to build the nation is a nationalist. I think both of them are almost the same thing. In my mind, there is no difference.
But clearly there is a difference because a patriotic person loves his country and is proud of whatever
No,
he
you
does.
can read from Google, but what I understand, you asked me, I'm telling you, Google can give you 100 definitions of patriotism.
No,
and
sir,
100
I think this is...
I think you asked him for his opinion and he gave you his opinion. Thank you very much.
Since today
Thank
is
you.
Valentine's Day, let us end on a note of love and peace and say something nice to everyone. One last opportunity for all of you, quickly, in 1 or 2, 3 words. One nice message of peace on this good day. By the way, is it anti-national or nationalist to celebrate Valentine's Day?
I think this country is known for Radha Krishna. That is the thing. Both the grandfather and granddaughter see Ras Leela. So there is no, we require Valentine's Day. I don't know what is this, but we know the Ras Leela and Radha Krishna. And that country will remain as a country of Radha Krishna, and we will follow that path. And that is the most beautiful path of the life.
Vivek, one nice message of love.
I think
The politics of love versus the politics of hate, remember?
I think if this world genuinely wants peace, humanity, they have to look at India. And very briefly, I'll tell you, Indians have been traveling and living all over the world for thousands and thousands of years. There is no part of the world where Indians don't live. If you ask anybody, what's the reputation of Indians? Everybody will tell you one thing: Indians can be trusted. Which is the rarest of the quality in this world. Nobody trusts anybody, but Indians, wherever they are, they can be trusted. And who's manufacturing these wonderful products? So therefore, I think our mothers who give this value to our children, we must celebrate them on this Valentine's Day.
There is no argument about that. That is perfect. Khushbu?
I think on this Valentine's Day, we should understand it's about celebrating love. Love is not about between a man and a woman alone. Love is about celebrating every moment of your life. And with every person you think of, probably at this moment, you might think of someone. It could be your enemy, but you would still want to say that thank you for pushing me this hard to reach the position where I am today. So I think on Valentine's Day, let's celebrate love, let's celebrate togetherness, let's celebrate all that it takes to keep us and others happy, and it brings a smile on our face. And let's celebrate our foes too, because they become a very, very integral part of our lives to take us where we want to go. Because if it was not for them, we definitely wouldn't have this drive to move forward. So let's celebrate love, let's celebrate life. That's it.
I think that's wonderful. I'm told that there are a couple of people who want to ask questions very urgently, and I should just give them that opportunity. That gentleman in the checked shirt. And one more question.
The one right behind, he's had an opportunity, ma'am. Can we just look at the other two students behind?
Urgently in the need to ask questions. Yeah.
Very quickly.
Khushbu Kakda. I just want to ask one question. If you think your party is secular, why India got divided before the independence? And if you think your party is secular, why is your party president going to a temple run before elections?
This is only because the media hype is now. Rahul Gandhi has been going to Shiv temple, Mansarovar, Kedarnath right from his childhood. It's no. You get to see it now.
To the world.
No. Rakesh, if Rahul Gandhi has to go somewhere, I am sure that Rahul Gandhi don't have to take one, dandora and say that, okay, na kalamite na jail ke pore pa jail ke pore na koil ke pore. Rahul Gandhi need not do that. Rahul Gandhi has been a Hindu, he's been a practicing Hindu. It was a question raised by the BJP time and again before the elections by the BJP. What is Rahul Gandhi's Gotra? What is Rahul Gandhi's Gotra? So we said this is his Gotra. Now you had a problem with that. Why has he revealed his Gotra? If Rahul Gandhi leaves country to see his ailing grandmother, you have a problem. If Rahul Gandhi leaves to goes with his family, with his sister to celebrate.
Gotra? First of all, it's a fake story. It's a fake news. No. He cannot have a Gotra. His grandfather was not a Hindu. How can he have a Gotra?
Rakesh.
Nobody except for Hindus have Gotras.
Rakesh.
No, prove it to me.
Please tell me
Actually,
which.
Prove it to me.
Okay, please.
It's not possible.
No,
Do
please
Muslims
tell
have
me.
Gotras?
No, we are not going to go back to that argument. Please tell me which religion does Rahul Gandhi follow? Whether he follows his father's side, his mother's side, his great-grandfather's side, his father.
It is absolutely fake news. His grandfather Firoz Gandhi was not a Hindu. His father was not a Hindu. His mother. How can he have a Gotra? Gotra cannot. He cannot. Prove it to me how he had a Gotra.
That's what.
It was fake news. It's fooling.
That's a problem.
It's fooling innocent people of this country.
So why did you ask what is Rahul Gandhi's Gotra? That means you were trying to create a problem. The BJP should have never raised a question that what is Rahul Gandhi's Gotra? Okay, let me finish. The question was to me. Poor gentleman, he is waiting, Rakeshji. Let me answer him. Tambi,
you are not answering. You are not answering.
Coming to that, that's what I said. I'll answer his
just
question.
One sentence for you. Rahul Gandhi becomes Hindu in Madhya Pradesh and Christian in Mizoram and Muslim in Lakshadweep.
Rahul Gandhi remains an Indian. The problem is with you that you see him as an Italian, as a Hindu, as a Muslim. Rahul Gandhi remains an Indian, and that's what his passport says. So if you have a problem which religion he follows, then I would suggest that you please follow Mr. Rahul Gandhi 24/7 and see what he does
Rahul
from
Gandhi
morning till evening.
One last question, please.
The obsession with Rahul Gandhi or BJP and RSS continues. So next question.
Okay, good morning.
There's a girl on the left who's, please. Quickly.
Can we just pass on the mic to her very quickly?
Yeah.
We've got our panelists for the next one. We would like to give the girl an opportunity. There have been a lot of men asking questions.
I'm worried that the people here will self-combust. So
we'd like to give girls an equal opportunity. I'm very sorry. We'll take your question for the next panel discussion. Ma'am, can you just post your question, please? Please sit down, sir. Thank you very much. Ma'am, can you please post your question very quickly?
Ma'am, this is to Khushbu, ma'am. Can you express your views about Priyanka Gandhi entry to Congress? How you feel, ma'am? We are looking forward like Indira Gandhi. So it will happen.
Come again.
Can you express your views about Priyanka Gandhi, ma'am? Entry to Congress. We are looking forward like Indira Gandhi she will be.
No, please do not see Indira Gandhi as Priyanka Gandhi. You cannot. Because there are two different individuals. You cannot compare Priyanka Gandhi to Indira Gandhi. We as a Congress, we do not compare them.
No, we are expecting
No,
Congress
no.
like that. So.
No, thank you very much. If you see Indira ji in Priyanka ji, I really appreciate that. But I would say do not. Because Priyanka has a different thinking, Priyanka ji has a different ideologies and different ideas. She will run the way she wants to run Uttar Pradesh eastern part, the General Secretary position, what she has been given to. Yes, we are very excited that Priyanka ji has been given a very, very important role in the party. And she will work the way she wants to.
I am quoting New Zealand's newspaper.
I knew Rakesh ji will come in.
Just one New Zealand newspaper reported Priyanka Gandhi joined family firm.
Perfectly fine. Joins family firm. That is somebody in Australia. I am not bothered about what Australia has to think about here. Because this will continue.
Can I ask one question, please? One small question.
Yeah, please.
In yes and no. Yes and no.
Yeah,
Khushbu ji, I have a question to ask. Just answer in yes and no. Can you even dream of becoming the Prime Minister of this country under Congress party?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
That's it.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay, so
that is your perception. My perception is different. Didn't we see other prime ministers under the Congress rule? Was it always a Gandhi family or a Nehru family? No. We have seen different prime ministers in this country. So your question is absolutely wrong, Vivek ji.
Sonia Gandhi is Congress, let me put it like this.
No, Sonia Gandhi is not. She's the UPA chairperson. She doesn't even rule as the
Khushbu
president.
is a very popular person here, but you can take all your questions to her offline. Thank you very much for being a really engaged audience, and of course to my panelists. I was just worried that they'll come to blows, but they didn't. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.
And wonderful job, Kaveree. I think you have been one of the best moderators in all the panels I have been to.
Friends, it was a very
Fantastic,
good session.
and we had such a fabulous time.
It was a very good session. As politics, you say, conviction is a matter of convenience. They were speaking what was convenient to them. When Vivek was asking them question, can you think of becoming a prime minister? I'm going to ask the counter question to Vivek. Can you think of another prime minister as long as Modi is alive?
No. I'll tell you why.
No, give the answer, yes or no.
We don't need to.
No, they need not know.
We don't need to.
And the other question which is there, I don't want to ask it anymore because they were talking about many other things because it's a convenience. Personality cult is a part of politics in this country. Unless you're a sycophant, you cannot grow in any party, whether it's a BJP or whether it's a Congress party. My experience 45 years says, when I wrote a cover story on Rajiv Gandhi in 1982 when he joined the Congress party as General Secretary, I wrote a cover story, Psychophancy Unleashed. But can we write the same story now? I have a doubt. Thank you very much for coming here.